Let's get it, right? And we got almost like a little bit of the arms not fully, but they're not stretched. Our range of motion is great when we can put a load on this bone going from here all the way to here. If we're a little bit flexible here, then we've lost a little bit of the range of motion. Ah, jeez, ooh. What is up? It's your boy Johnny Shrevive, BB Pro, Mr. Tell Like It Is. Welcome back to an episode of Coaching Up. Today we're coaching up the Tren twins, and yes, another back workout. So guys, just like before, just gonna coach up one exercise at a time. Today, we're gonna go over our narrow grip high row. So without further ado, keep your eyes glued to the screen, ears glued to the speakers, and let's learn some stuff. All right, first exercise, we have high rows. What is the difference between a high row and a regular vertical pull? Difference is we're gonna target a little more of the back thickness. These guys are doing their first bodybuilding show, and these guys are even making little slight mistakes, small ones. These little cues will go a long way in their development. It will save that really annoying feedback from the judge when you're done your show and they're like, you gotta work with your back thickness. It's like, what does that mean? It means everything that pops out from the back. Like when you look at your back, like from the side, you know what I mean? If you look from here, when your traps like pop out and stuff, and then your rear delts and your rhomboids, all of that stuff that fills in all of this stuff, right? And then width, again, is gonna be this part, the teres major, minor, all that good stuff, that width stuff, right? Let's start off by fixing this problem right away because we're shortchanging ourselves. My dad used to say that all the time. Quit shortchanging the dog, meaning like, don't walk the dog so quick. Like, take your time with it. Don't shortchange your reps. And we're doing that a little bit, so check it out. Right away we have, I forget which one this one is, but one of the trends, right? Nice control at the bottom, at the top, and the next one comes in, he's just going, let's get it, right? And we got almost like a little bit of the arms not fully going all the way up, and we do see some good stretch. Like there's a good stretch here, right? Look, the development here is pretty nice. Cue that up here, Chewy, my editor. So you can see here, really good. So we can get better here, right? Because you look at these guys' back already, it looks pretty nice. They got some thick. But again, these guys are in the first stages of bodybuilding and they're gonna want to get bigger. If they're trying to compete and get a pro card and compete in the open class, remember guys, as an open class competitor, it's gonna take some time to put that size on, that good old muscle, right? So we're gonna break this thing down right from the ground up because I think for the most part, we're missing the stretch because we don't really figure out what's going on at the ground, at the base level. So I'll move this guy back a bit. I'll give you guys some cues when we're doing this, all right? I'm always saying from floor to core. Now I'm just gonna give you guys an example of what we see sometimes happen in the gym. Here's where we're missing the mark a little bit, right? We have every traditional pull down cable machine basically has a pad here that you can adjust up and down. Pause. We adjust it for our feet and we have it, firmly on our thighs. And then people just start rolling away. They start, I got it. All right, they'll do this, they'll get down, they'll put their feet underneath here, then they just start going. And they're kind of doing this. And they're forgetting the biggest part of the leverage, which is gonna keep me in the seat, give me more power, which is me actually pressing my feet into the ground, right? So this is pretty, small. It's a, at-home gym bench. What I'm gonna do with this is, I'm gonna get myself underneath. So right now I can't necessarily get my feet underneath as much, but if I get myself here anyway, right, and get my feet underneath, now, instead of just being locked in this way from just the pad and my feet, I'm actually gonna do a little bit of a calf raise. I'm gonna put pressure into my feet, which is gonna cause more pressure into this pad, which will give me so much more leverage when I'm doing the actual pull, right? I'm trying to lock myself in here so I can control this a lot more from up here. So when I'm pulling, I'm locked in from here. Everything's pulling in from here, right? So same thing, it was like this, right? I'm here, my feet are locked in. Now, I wanna put it down a little bit. And when I'm here, I'm gonna put pressure into this from pushing into the ground. I'm gonna do a little bit of a calf raise to put pressure into here. So when I'm pulling, I'm stuck in here and I'm using it as leverage when I'm pulling, right? Don't leave this part out of the equation. So let's go back to the actual pull. Now, these guys have the traditional V bar. If you don't have it and you have something like this, great. If you want to get nice and fancy with it and creative, grab 2 accessory handles, put it there, and you have a little more room and range of motion in terms of where your elbows are and your body's not kind of sitting stuck like this. So we get a little more range from your elbows coming outside. And now we are locked in, you know, underneath here, right? I'm pushing in from here and I'm tight from here. Now, Tren twins are doing a little bit of and pulling down and squeezing here and then coming up and pulling down. They're a little bit underneath a little more. Regardless, it's a high row, right? The difference between a high row and like a pull down is my scapulas are gonna do this, if you watch. If you watch my scaps, I'm pulling, they're just kind of moving like this, right? When I'm pulling down. When I do a row, they come back and they squeeze, right? So they are shifting and retracting, where when I'm doing a pull up or vertical pull, they're just kind of shifting like this. That's a difference. So again, when we're looking at back thickness, we want a lot of this to happen. We want this to happen, and we want it to stretch, and we want it to pull. We want it to stretch, and we want it to pull, right? Because the traps really aren't gonna travel. The traps and the delts and the rhomboids, they're not gonna travel very far when you're doing pulls. So when you're traditionally doing a pull down and you kind of get yourself stuck in here and your scaps are already retracted and you're doing this, which isn't bad, right? I get it. This makes sense. If we can do this under control, cool, right? But the only real way that you're back in that position in terms of thickness, your rhomboids, your traps, mid traps, delts, they're in a static hold, right? They're statically, we call it like an isometric hold or isotonic, right? This would be isometric contraction. If I'm doing this, right? I'm moving my bicep. If I stuck my bicep here and just flexed it, it's just contracting. It's an isotonic or like a static contraction. It's just holding here. Now, it's contracting and it can't grow like this if there's a load on it, but it's not gonna get as much growth as it would if it went through its full range doing this. Same thing works for your traps, your rhomboids, your rear delts, right? Simply having them stuck in this position is good, but it's not gonna be as good as getting them all the way open and all the way back. Now, the other Tren twin is doing a little bit of a half rep here. Not half rep, he's definitely not half repping, but we get him, his arms are bent like this still. So he's going up and he's pulling, and he gets up and he's pulling, and he gets up to here and he's stretching a bit, but if you look at where his arms are, but they're not stretched, right? Remember, our range of motion is great when we can put a load on this bone going from here all the way to here. If we're a little bit flexed and we're here, then we've lost a little bit of the range of motion. So we're trying to almost kill two birds with one stone here. We're trying to work on that high row to get some good stretch in the teres, and then the contraction at the bottom, we're trying to stretch the traps, rhomboids, rear delts, and then we're pulling, and they're pulling it in and getting, you know, the contraction at the bottom, right? We want to be fully from here out and pull. Out and pull. So what we want to do is from floor to core, lock yourself in, get in your seat, put some pressure in there so you can feel the pressure on your thighs, lock yourself in, chest is going to stay up, and then you're going to fall into it a bit here. You can see the stretch of my lats, my teres, right into my armpits, stretched, and then I'm going to pull and I'm going to get back like this. Now I'm not hyperextending. If you want to look at my range of motion, look at the shape of my back when I'm here and look at it here, it stays the same. It's not doing this. It's a big difference. So we're locked into our lats from floor to core. We're locked in, and then our chest is gonna go up. You can see there's already tension on the weight. And then from here, pulling and squeeze, let it come out, and letting the weight pull you back, but controlling it going back. And then pulling it again. Nice stretch, pull. Nice stretch, and pull. And we want to get this full stretch here. Stretch, not here. There's a difference between being stretched from here and being active from here. Stretch from here, or active and engaged here. Or I think about rolling your shoulders back and away from your ears. Look at that. I'm in position. And I have tension already on my lats. You can see I'm kind of shaking a bit. And then I'm gonna pull and squeeze in. And again, we're gonna greet our chest to the bar. We're not gonna do this and try and do this because we get a lot of that. We get a lot of this thing here. We don't want that. We want to do high from here. Chest is always gonna stay high because we're gonna bring this to the chest. Bring the chest to the bar, not bar to chest. Or we're not trying to climb over it. Pulling here, elbows back. Nice stretch, pull. Nice stretch and pull. And you can see in my feet from floor to core, I'm very engaged from here. I'm solid all the way through. So again, from floor core locked in, my chest is gonna stay up. Remember, I don't wanna just be loose up here. I wanna be active and engaged. Shoulders, chest, shoulders back and away from my ears, and already the weight is on and I'm engaged, and then we're pulling. And you can see everything is opening up, and then it's squeezing. Opening up, right? Scap's gonna go back first. Everything's gonna go back first. We're gonna retract first and then follow with the elbows. Keep the chest up. And I can literally promise you, if you do it like that, take your time with it. And you can see, like, as the Tren twins start their set, they start off really, really good. It looks solid. And then the weight gets in. The ego starts to rise up a little bit. And the forearm starts getting a little wacky. Keep that ego in check. Climb up the weight as you should with a good progression. Make sure you're doing reps, 10 to 20 reps. Make you feel in between there, a weight that's gonna bring you to exhaustion. You should get off this machine or whatever and be like, holy, my armpits is burning. Like one of those things. If you don't look like that, you're not like, geez, ooh, stingy kind of feeling, you're not working hard enough, right? Doesn't have to be a failure, just has to be controlled, close to it, but at least hard. Your effort and intensity needs to be high, and technique, right? Technique and effort never change, period. Anyway, guys, that is it. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. And if you guys use any of these cues, let me know in the comment section below. And guys, if you liked the video, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share. You know I'm a couple that tell it is transparent, vulnerable truth. And for coaching, guys, johnsheet.com. If you want to know more about my coaching, book yourself a 15 or 30-minute consult. At the end of the consult, I deduct it off any package that you pick. Also, guys, hit the description below for those discount codes and promo codes that save your life or change your life for the better. Like Johnny10 for 10% on bluestarnutraceuticals.com. Anyway, guys, add me on Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat. Send me your progress pics, your training pics, and your video clips, and I repost it for you, because you know how it is. Iron sharpens iron. Progressive overload your life. In the meantime, keep dream chasing. Peace.